Hi, my name's Emma, and this is the first episode of My Birthway. Let me tell you a little bit about what this video series is going to be and why I decided to do it. So, my name is Emma, and I own a doula company, a doula business, and it's called Our Birthway Doula Services. So, I thought that the name of this video series kind of speaks to Our Birthway, kind of references that, but it's specifically my birthway. So, me and my husband Jason's experience trying to do the baby thing, trying to get pregnant, trying to have a baby and be parents. So my passion is all things birth and pregnancy related. And I got into being a doula a few years ago because I witnessed the birth of one of my, the daughter of one of my very best friends. And it was unbelievable and amazing. And I was like, I can't go back to real life now. This is too special. So I started doing that. I'm currently training to be a doula with Birth Arts International, and I'm in the middle of working on that, but my doula business is up and running, and I'm working with some clients in the North Carolina area, so in the Triad, Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem. So if you know of anybody nearby that's interested in doula services, go to my website. It's ourbirthway.com. But on a side note, we also, Jason and I, own a homestead, and we raise pasture-raised poultry that's fed non-GMO feed that's free-range, specifically heritage turkeys, chicken, a specific kind called Red Ranger that's more delicious and more like a real chicken than the classic kind you buy. And we also raise duck, Pekin duck, and we do duck eggs, and probably at a future date I'm going to talk to you about why I love duck eggs so much. And we also own pigs and cows, and we do some school services where we take our animals to farms and things like that. But I just wanted to give you a little lowdown of the way I am. So if you hear any weird screeching in the background, that's not a zombie, that's one of the pigs, because the windows are open, because the weather's nice, so you might hear that. That's kind of the way my life goes. It's busy, it's crazy, there's weird noises all the time, and I'm really enthusiastic about everything I do. And if you hear a dog bark, it's one of my dogs. If you hear a cat, it's a cat. Or a moo, it's a cow. So just heads up on that. But the reason I decided to do this is really for many reasons. The first reason is because I wanted to offer a resource to women or people who were trying to get pregnant and trying to undergo this huge journey, people that just wanted sort of a friend. And it's not like we can really talk via video, but you can hear my experiences. And my plan is every week to do a video post updating you. So I'm going to go into why I started this week in a minute. But if we're pregnant, it'll be every week. And then if we're not, I'm probably going to update you about the journey and hoping to get pregnant in the future. So another reason I decided to do the video series is because I would really like to immortalize this moment, this experience of not yet being a mother, but wanting to be a mother. It's just a special sacred time, I believe. And I want to make sure that my children get to witness it. So whether I have just sons, just daughters, whatever, I want them to know what it was like for me and see me back in the day before I was a mom and hear the experience and how special and amazing it was and how at sometimes difficult and at sometimes a breeze it was being a parent. I just feel like it's a special legacy to have, and I thought it would be a little bit more accessible than writing it in a journal and a little bit easier for them to access in the future decades of tons and tons of cool technology probably arising. Another reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted to speak to you. And I kind of already referenced this, but I really want to offer my real raw experience. Sometimes you don't get that. You Google things, you look up videos, and it's this kind of, kind of fluffy, valuable, but a little too cute and not so raw experience about what it's like to try to be pregnant and try to have a baby and all the things. I mean, I'm going to talk about like, this is sore, that is sore, I'm puking, I'm not, I'm pissed, I'm not. Like, this is how my relationship has changed. This is what like waking up is like. It's hard, it's not. Those are the kind of things that I really want to talk about. And those of you that know me in real life, that I am so open. I'm an open book, and I am enthusiastic about pretty much everything that comes out of my mouth, which is a lot. So good thing this is via video form, so you can decide if you want to listen to me or not. But I'm just excited that you're here watching, whether there's one of you or there's more than one of you. That is the weather alarm. We're having a thunderstorm coming as the weather radio. So you can ignore that. It's not a real emergency. So that's why I wanted to start this. And now, this is the first episode. And I'm kind of titling this one, We Did It, Now We Wait. Subtitle is An Exercise in Hysteria. And I use the word hysteria because it's a reference to the word, obviously, hysterical, which is also the same root word as hysterectomy, which is back in the day when women were hysterical, they imagined that it had to do with their uterus. And so that's why hysterectomy is named that, because it's like, oh, they're a little crazy. Maybe if we remove their lady parts, they'll calm down. If you can't tell, I'm also a women's and gender study major. At least I was in college. That was my third major. I did human development and family studies, so you can see kind of where I was already really drawn to this kind of work. And probably my greatest love is anthropology. That's how I met my husband. I can go into that another time, doing archaeology. But I love cultural anthropology. I love spirituality of different cultures. And so if you hear that language come up in what I'm saying, it'll make a little bit more sense. I'm a really spiritual person, and I really reference that in the way I view the world and the universe and the life, death, life cycle. And that's why I'm so excited to be embarking on this journey with me and my husband and my family that hopefully will get bigger sometime soon. But also with you, because I love to share that kind of experience and I love to marvel in it together. So I'm going to talk fast because that's the way I roll. But that's probably all you need to know about me to start. So let's get to the basics. Let's get to why I started to do the video today. So we think that I ovulated yesterday. Now, this is why we think that. If you'll look at my ovulation strip paper, where I have written down when we've had sex and written down all the taped the pee strips to the paper. I mean, hello. I'm sure some of you have done that too. But I'm that excited about it. And I mean, I've spent years like getting ready for this and doing research and being like, okay, ovulation time and this and the fertility awareness method about knowing when you ovulate and your cervical mucus and all that stuff. And the exciting part is Jason, my husband, is so into it too. So he's kind of my researcher. He looks up all the stuff. He helped me look up what prenatal vitamin plan we were going to do, all of that stuff. So it's been a really awesome team effort. But supposedly I ovulated yesterday, which was so amazingly our 2-year anniversary. So that's really special. We didn't plan it that way on purpose at all, obviously. How can I ovulate on schedule? We were going to try to get pregnant like 8 months ago, but we pushed it back because farm animals take a lot of work. And in the springtime, you are like pulling your hair out, running in circles, and it's really hard to do that. So things have calmed down a bit, and we're getting rolling with the birth idea a little bit more. So we're hoping I'm pregnant now, although we have to wait and see. I mean, I've also written the list that's like, this is the possible day that implantation could have happened. So to those of you that have been this like micromanaging about stuff, welcome to my life, because that's the way I am too. Really excited, really like to document stuff, really like to plan stuff. And I do know that you can't plan all of it. You can't plan very much, but I'm just so excited about it. It's like an amazing science experiment that I want to share, that I've seen in action, and I can't wait to do it. I'm so happy. So we're going to find out soon if I actually am pregnant. I assume we got enough DNA combinations going on in there from all of the planning and the sex on cue that we were doing. But according to my chart that I've written things down on, if I'm pregnant or pre-pregnant, today is one of the days when the zygote, which, by the way, that means fertilized egg, when the zygote starts to multiply and divide. The cells are dividing, so it's becoming something more. And in a few days, it should turn into a blastocyst, which, if you don't know what that is kind of an advanced zygote. It is when the cell, or I think it's called the outside is the zona of the egg that's fertilized. So inside are all the cells divided, and when it's a zygote, it just fills it up. But when it's a blastocyst, all the cells kind of migrate to one side of the circle, and there's like an empty space right in the middle. And that's where there's going to be kind of space for the amniotic sac and all that stuff later. But it means that the cells are starting to decide, like, hey, okay, these are the baby cells. These are the placental cells and amniotic sac and all that stuff. So that should be happening in like 5 to 8 days, which is also kind of the cusp of when that blastocyst, hopefully if it's in there, is going to decide to start attaching and like lock into the lining of my uterus. Now, one thing that we recognized about tracking my cycles through fertility awareness method is that I have a much longer follicular phase, which is the period from your period until you ovulate. So the first day of your period until you ovulate. That is like 14, 15, or 16 days, which would be kind of average, except I have a shortish cycle, 26, 27 days, but it's fluctuating still. It changes. And so that means the luteal phase, which is after you ovulate until your period, is rather short. And some research has shown that when you have a shorter luteal phase, there's a worry that the blastocyst won't have time to implant before your body sheds your uterine lining. But Jason, the forever researcher, has looked it up and found studies that prove that the short luteal phase actually doesn't correlate at all to that. So I'm much less nervous than I was, which is a good thing, because when you're anxious, it's hard to be pregnant. And it's not good for your body. You need to relax and just try to go with the flow, even though for those of you that have ever had issues getting pregnant, it is hard to do that. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm really excited, but I'm also kind of like living in a surreal world. It doesn't seem real. So we're going to wait and see, and hopefully next week when I update you, I will have peed on many, many pink sticks, and I will have some lines, some double lines, I hope. Although that is kind of the earliest you can really tell at 6 or 7 days is when you start to make the HCG hormone. So we'll see if my body will pick up on it. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm just ready. But I'm ready. I think more than anything, I'm ready. And so thank you to those of you that tuned in for this first episode of My Birthway. Thanks for joining me on the journey, and hopefully you'll come back next week to see what the update is. Thanks. Bye.